You know, the past few days have been pretty weird. Yesterday, we heard from Xbox that their games are going up to $80, their accessories are going up in price, and maybe most important to this video, their consoles are also raising in price quite a bit. But just this morning, we have confirmation from Rockstar that Grand Theft Auto 6 is no longer releasing in 2025. It is now slated for May 26th, 2026, which is a bummer. No one wanted to see Grand Theft Auto 6 get delayed, even if it definitely fell in line with previous Rockstar titles. No one wanted to see the Xbox rise in price and have their games go up to $80. However, I wanted to take a look at all of this news and view it through the lens of Nintendo, because I think when you look at this holiday for Nintendo, their first Christmas season with the Nintendo Switch 2, with Xbox raising their prices, with GTA 6 delayed, with PlayStation 5 console prices likely not far behind considering they are also manufactured in China, I think it's starting to paint a pretty good picture for Nintendo in terms of having a very clear runway for success this holiday season. So that is what we are getting into today. Of course, if you are new here and you enjoy Nintendo Switch 2 content, I would appreciate you subscribing. We hit 30,000 subscribers a couple of days ago. I really do appreciate the support, but let's get into it. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the channel. I hope your morning is going well. So, yeah, the big news this morning is definitely GTA 6 getting delayed. It feels like every day we've just been kind of waiting for something to happen here one way or another, be that a new trailer for the game or confirmation of that delay. But Rockstar put out this release here saying GTA 6 is now coming May 26, 2026. We are very sorry that this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding a new GTA has been truly humbling for our entire team. We want to thank you for your support and your patience as we work to finish the game. With every game we have released, the goal has always been to try and exceed your expectations, and GTA 6 is no exception. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve. We look forward to sharing more information with you soon. So that is the date, May 26, 2026. I'm going to be honest, the pessimist in me is looking at that release window and thinking, well, usually Rockstar games release in the holiday period. So honestly, I would not be surprised if we get to early next year and Rockstar is like, well, what if we delay it to September or October, you know? But GTA 6 was easily the most anticipated game of the year, if not really ever. I mean, there was so much hype built around GTA 6, and I think it being delayed has given Nintendo a very clear pathway to success this holiday season, because I think GTA 6 and maybe one other title are the only third-party games of consequence that Nintendo will not be getting on the Switch 2 this holiday, which means for the first time, really ever, we're going to look at a Nintendo holiday where they have most of the AAA titles releasing, but also their own first-party games. Of course, on top of continued sales for Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, we're going to get a Nintendo console that will have those games, a Pokemon game, a Metroid game this holiday, Kirby, Hyrule Warriors, but also Call of Duty. We know Call of Duty will be coming to the Switch 2 at some point. They signed a 10-year agreement with Xbox to make sure Call of Duty comes to the Switch. We have to wait and see if that will start this year. Maybe it doesn't go into effect next year, in which case, yeah, there will be more reasons to buy those other consoles. Borderlands 4 is definitely one of the biggest titles of the year now that GTA 6 is gone. Borderlands 3 was an absolute megaton, and we know we're getting Borderlands 4 on the Switch too. And really, unless the landscape changes drastically, there's not much else going on this holiday. The two big ones really seem to be Call of Duty, which, to be fair, hasn't even been announced yet, but we know we're getting a Call of Duty game, as well as Borderlands 4. Sony has Ghost of Yotei on their console, and Xbox has a few things that may or may not come to Nintendo at the same time, Ninja Gaiden 4 and Outer Worlds 2 being the major two, but frankly, I think both of those, maybe not day and date with Xbox and PlayStation, but I think both of those will come to Switch 2 eventually, if nothing else. Although, honestly, Ninja Gaiden 4, I feel pretty good about saying that'll come to Switch 2 day and dates. So really, with GTA 6 delayed, the only major third-party game that Nintendo will be missing, most likely, is Battlefield. I really don't expect EA to get Battlefield running on Switch 2 this year. There might be some other unannounced titles, like a new Far Cry from Ubisoft, but even then, once again, with Ubisoft where they're at, and with Star Wars Outlaws coming to Switch 2 this year, I think even a Far Cry 7 I would expect to be announced for Switch 2 alongside the other versions. Now, the reason this is so important, the reason most third parties will also be launching on Switch 2 this holiday, the first year of Switch 2, is that this was a pivotal holiday for the gaming market. A lot of people have still not upgraded from their PS4 and their Xbox One, and GTA 6 was going to be the moment. That was the moment that a lot of consumers were going to put their money on a console to play the new GTA. And I'm sure a lot of people will still end up waiting for next spring to buy their PS5 or their Series X and S. However, now Nintendo has an open holiday where Ghost of Yotei will certainly move some units, but GTA 6 was going to be a major distraction from the likes of a console that has Mario Kart and Call of Duty on it. But now Nintendo has a pretty just open window here with a console that has Mario Kart and Call of Duty on it. If you're someone looking to buy a new console this holiday season, especially if you were a family looking to, make a pivotal decision of, okay, this is going to be our console purchase, this is little Timmy's Christmas gift, the choice has become, in my opinion, pretty clear. Once again, assuming Call of Duty actually does come this year, and we are getting Borderlands, which we know, GTA 6, in my mind, was the only major deterrence from buying a Switch 2 this year. And now that we know Xbox has gone up in price substantially, and while it's not confirmed, although very likely, PlayStation 5 prices, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that PlayStation 5 prices won't be far behind because that console is also manufactured in China, just like Xbox. Nintendo, frankly, has little to no competition this year. Like basically none. And I think this might be why we're seeing rumors of PlayStation making a more dedicated handheld that can play PS5 games around the time that the PS6 comes out. Nintendo has become a big issue for them. Now that Nintendo will be getting the big third-party games like a Borderlands, like a Call of Duty, the reason to own a PlayStation has just significantly fallen in general. And GTA 6 was going to be that this year. GTA 6 was going to be the reason that people would choose PlayStation or Xbox over Nintendo, and they just completely lost that entire selling point. And I say all this as someone who loves PlayStation. I play my PlayStation 5 Pro more than most any other console that I have access to. I play it more than my Switch. That might change a little bit when the Switch 2 comes out, of course, but I love my PS5 Pro. I love playing games on it. However, now that we're going to have a Nintendo console that has all of the third-party games, but also has Mario Kart and the future Zelda game, Pokemon, which is a massive seller, eventually Animal Crossing will be there. I think the combined ownership of a Switch 2, but also a PC, is becoming maybe the most attractive option for people that really like playing games, because most Sony exclusives come to PC. Obviously, all of the Xbox stuff is on PC, and then you also have a Switch 2 for portable play, but also those first-party games. I think there are very few third-party games that won't end up coming to this console based on the power we're seeing. And honestly, I mean, this is a whole separate subtopic, but with the Xbox raising in price, there have been rumors that this year's Call of Duty 2025, there were rumors that it was going to be the last one released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Well, honestly, I don't know if I believe it anymore. I think that next year's Call of Duty would also come to PS4 and Xbox One, which would also mean, in general, for third parties, it'll be easier to get their games running on a Switch 2, because Switch 2 is, more in that PS4 ballpark. It is more powerful, but you know what I mean, right? With the console prices increasing, less people will upgrade to a PS5 or Series X this holiday, meaning it'll be more important than ever for a lot of developers to have lower quality versions of their games running on low-end PCs, but also on Switch 2. This is all benefiting Nintendo. This is all going to make it so that more developers are supporting their platform, and that combined with Nintendo's world-class first-party lineup, I mean, like I said, Sony has Ghost of Yotei this year. Marathon is also coming out in September. Reception on that seems lukewarm. We'll see how that lands. Maybe that'll be a huge deal, but that's also on Xbox and PC. Then you have Lost Soul Aside. That just got delayed from May to August, so that's a first-party Sony exclusive on PS5 and PC. We have Death Stranding 2 this summer. PlayStation's having a pretty good year. All of those games, I'm excited for all of them, except for maybe Marathon. I'm going to play Death Stranding 2. I'm going to play Ghost of Yotei. And yes, a Ghost of Yotei is absolutely a system seller, but it's not a system seller on the scale that GTA 6 was going to be. But you know what game is a system seller on the scale that a GTA 6 was? Mario Kart World. That's a system seller. That is a true system seller right there. On top of the return of Madden to Nintendo, we're getting Madden for the first time since the Wii U. We're going to get EA Sports FC and likely NBA 2K26 on this console this year, on top of Call of Duty, on top of Borderlands, maybe a Far Cry 7 slots in there somewhere. That one's personal speculation. All of that combines with the likes of Mario Kart and Pokemon Legends EA. I just feel like Nintendo is probably very happy about that GTA 6 delay. And then talking about next year, I mean, my friend Abram pointed this out, but the cultural impact of GTA 6, that's of course going to be a massive deterrent from Nintendo no matter when it releases, unless GTA 6 does manage to release on Switch 2 at the same time. I haven't really considered that as a possibility. I do think GTA 6 might come eventually. I wouldn't expect it day and date with PS5 and Xbox though. So no matter what, when it releases, this atomic bomb that drops, you know, that is going to be a distraction from Switch 2 and consumer spending and everything. But honestly, GTA 6 is now releasing in the same window as the Mario movie 2, and if 2023 is anything to go by, Mario movie, of course, combined with the Tears of the Kingdom release a month later, that significantly increased Switch sales and software sales on Switch 1, so the Mario movie 2 might honestly kind of absorb the impact, like Majin Buu. It's going to just take the GTA hit and bounce it back because Mario Movie 2 will be so huge that Mario Kart World sales are going to skyrocket. Maybe around that time, we get our 3D Mario, but if not, maybe DK Bonanza keeps selling more. We get some other Mario spinoffs or something. GTA 6 being delayed to that specific time frame might be one of the best things that ever happened to Nintendo. They have no distractions this holiday, meaning the Switch 2 has a paved golden walkway to being the #1 selling console of 2025 with no GTA 6 to distract it from, but also next year, that timing is just, it's almost perfect for Nintendo with the Mario movie as well to absorb that blow. And once again, to be clear, the PS5 is going to do completely fine this holiday season with the likes of Ghost of Yotei, but also Call of Duty, right? I mean, the baked-in audience there is huge because people just associate these games with a PlayStation or an Xbox. You don't really associate Call of Duty with Nintendo, so there will be a lot of people that even if they are interested in Mario Kart World and Call of Duty, they still just kind of inherently default to buying a PlayStation because that has just been the status quo for so long. So Sony's going to have a good holiday, especially in preparation for the release of GTA 6 next spring. But I just think when we take all factors into account, the first-party Nintendo lineup, the first-party lineups on the other consoles, the third-party lineup, in general feeling a little bit weaker, but also a lot of those titles coming to Switch 2, the price increase for Xbox, and, you know, we'll see what happens with PlayStation, but I'm also expecting a price increase there. Nintendo has all of the dominoes lined up now, literally every single one. It almost couldn't have all worked out better for them based on what we're seeing right now. We will see what ends up happening. I just find it all very interesting. Like, they had a major system seller on PlayStation 5 and Xbox later this year in the form of GTA 6, and now that has just been yoinked out of the equation. So from now until the end of summer, expect a lot more release dates, right? We don't have really much dated for late October, early November. You imagine Outer Worlds 2 and Ninja Gaiden 4 are there. Maybe a Gears of War E-Day drops this year, but that's not confirmed. Fable was supposed to be this year, but that got delayed. Square Enix doesn't really have anything announced right now except for Dragon Quest 1 and 2. Of course, that will sell best on Switch 1, actually. So it's an interesting year, you know? Now that GTA 6 is gone, we need to get more stuff dated for the holiday period. Ubisoft needs to announce whatever they have, if they have anything. EA needs to give a date for Battlefield. We need to see that Call of Duty game announced. And whether or not that actually is going to come to Switch 2 this year will definitely impact sales one way or another. It's going to be an interesting holiday for Nintendo with all of the tariffs, with all the price increases. Will we see the Switch 2 at $450 still end up being the cheapest option? I guess not counting Series S, but Xbox sales have already fallen so far. I don't really know if they're a factor to begin with. It's unfortunate that prices are going up. It's unfortunate that GTA 6 got delayed, but as someone who likes following the industry, it's all very fascinating to see how it all kind of played out here. And look, I mean, I've just been talking through the angle of what console will people buy this year, but something else I love discussing is the Game Awards. What Game of the Year nominees are we looking at now? GTA 6 was the clear winner before. Up until GTA 6 got delayed, I think we could have all been in a room and it would have been a unanimous vote immediately that GTA 6 was going to win Game of the Year in 2025. Well, now that's locked in for 2026, but what does that mean for Game of the Year 2025? I mean, you look at Nintendo's lineup, I don't think Nintendo's going to win Game of the Year this year with anything they have announced. Not guaranteed or anything, but right now, I would say the frontrunner for winning Game of the Year is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And even with the lineup announced, I don't know if anything else will come and change that, to be honest. But let's say Mario Kart World was going to be nominated, but now that GTA 6 is gone from the equation, you can see a scenario where, oh, well, actually, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is a Game of the Year nominee, or maybe somehow like DK Bonanza slips in there. Or maybe that slot just goes to something else like a Doom the Dark Ages or a Death Stranding 2 if those weren't going to be nominated to begin with. I love predicting Game of the Year stuff, and that conversation has gotten so much more interesting now that GTA 6 isn't going to just completely sweep every category, right? We have stuff like Clair Obscur and Split Fiction, these new exciting IP that are going to get a lot more screen time at the Game Awards this year, which is obviously great. And for Nintendo, it should open the way a little bit for them to make a bigger impact this year at the Game Awards. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of GTA 6 being delayed? What do you think of the Xbox price increases? And how do you think this all affects the Nintendo Switch 2? Do you think it has a clear runway like I'm describing in this video, or do you think it's not that simple? I would love to get a conversation going down below. Of course, you can subscribe here for more Nintendo Switch 2 content, news, speculation, theories, all that fun stuff. Follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames. Check out my other channel at It's Amiibo, where I post Nintendo collecting content, and you can click on one of these two videos to listen to me ramble about even more Nintendo nonsense. Until next time, folks, peace.